well as on our website.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much. I would entertain a moment to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Lonnie, seconded by Chris. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Motion carries. All right, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Jeremy, seconded by Chrissy. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. Motion carries. Alrighty. All right, acknowledgement of our donations. We had 2 donations this month. One came from Lilac Nails. I believe it was for $600 and to be used as needed, and a donation of $300 from Ebert Enterprises for postal bronze. So those are graciously appreciated. Thank you very much. And now the fun part of the evening, the board recognition. And tonight we are recognizing the bowling team. So guys, I would like to know, how long have you been part of Algoma's bowling team?
3 years. Yeah.
3 years. And who's the best? Who's improved the most? What's the most fun about bowling?
Does anybody have a 200 average or anything like that?
No.
Should we do some introductions?
Well, absolutely. I thought I could get them opening. I thought I could get them talking first, but let's go with the introduction. Would you be so kind as to introduce yourself?
I'm Tessa Clebat. I'm a senior this year. It's my third year.
Okay.
I'm Kevin Clebat. I'm an 8th grader. This is my second year bowling.
Okay.
I'm Sophie, and this is my 3rd year bowling. I'm Mackenzie Stewart. This is my 3rd year bowling.
Excellent.
I'm Tomas, my first year bowling.
All right.
Kelly, I'm a senior. This is my 1st year bowling.
Ed Connors, varsity coach, 3rd year.
Alex Landon, JV coach, 4th year.
Excellent. Okay. Anybody have any questions for the group?
What made you want to get into bowling?
The group.
The group? Yeah. Just way to hang out?
Yeah, something to do.
Nice.
Who's improved the most? Who's got the best score? Who can pick up the split?
Sophie's good. She improved a lot from last year.
Yeah.
Do you use bumpers or no?
No.
Maybe that's just us.
Well, has it impacted your outlook on life at all? What has been the most fun? Just talking with your friends?
Yeah.
Getting to know new people.
Yeah, because you're in 8th grade, so it's a bit of a jump for you. Not a bad thing, but it's a great way to get matriculated into the school.
So what other schools do you compete against? What other schools in our area have bowling teams?
So, yeah, what does a bowling meet look like? I'm familiar with basketball games and those types of things. How do you guys compete?
It is very long. So you bowl 9 games total, but you bowl as a team. So it's not individual. So there's 10 frames, and there's 5 like on a team that bowls at a time, and each of you bowl 2 frames of the whole thing. So you work together.
Are you back-to-back bowling, or is it like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they go back? Ooh,
Yeah.
no consistency.
And 9 games?
9 games total.
Like that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
in one day.
Yeah.
It's called Baker style bowling.
That's a lot of bowling,
Yeah.
like, just a long time.
So that's not like a 2-hour little get together and bowl.
Well, it's like
Yeah.
an hour and a half, I think.
Yeah.
It does.
It goes quick.
It does.
Yeah.
It goes quick.
It goes quick.
You can only buy, or you can only bowl 5 people at a time.
Yeah.
So you're not in line on the same lane, you're all 4 in different lanes bowling?
Each team has a different lane. Yeah.
Oh.
They're teams of 5, and each shot, whoever bowls first, bowls the 6th frame, also 1st and 6th frame, 2nd, 7th, 3rd, and 8th.
Okay.
And we bowl on the same lane the whole time, and then for the whole game, and then the next game we rotate, move to the next lane, and so on. And this year was only 6 teams varsity, and stuff, so it went by pretty quick for bowling, so.
So you change lanes every time, so
Every year.
nobody can say, I got the bad one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So who's the best team?
Southern Door.
Yeah.
No, you're supposed to say Algoma.
Good question.
That's a good question, yeah.
That was a loaded.
So Ed, I feel like you started this a couple of years ago, right?
No,
Was it?
Alex started it as a club, and it grew, so then I became a coach to help Alex with it and stuff, and then we had enough kids
Yeah.
to do 2 teams, varsity and JV, and one year we actually had 2 JV teams and 1 varsity team, so. and
Yeah.
everything, so.
It originally started with just before COVID, a little bowling club type thing. We just go to the pizza bowl and bowl 1 day a week. And then Tricia from the Door County Lakeshore Bowling Conference contacted me about starting a Algoma bowling team. And we joined their conference, and here we are.
So you mentioned pizza bowl, does that mean all of you guys can score manually? You don't need electronic scoring?
We actually practice in Kiwanee.
Yeah.
So there's no math lesson behind it with all the scoring fun?
I can score in Wii bowling. That is,
The league, or the bowling alleys need to be sanctioned, is that correct?
There
To
is.
Participate, so our team needs to go to Kiwanee or, what's the other location?
Apple Valley
Apple
or
Valley.
Rendezvous, this area.
You got like cool uniforms, like bowling shirts?
Yeah.
Yep.
That would be awesome. You get one of those?
Really cool.
I won't sell those as a fundraiser, right? Buy one.
So is the
I agree.
JV and the varsity based on grades? Or is it?
Kind of naturally, I think it turns out that way, but it's
So
not
what
set
grades do
in
we have?
grade variety.
Yes,
7th through seniors,
okay.
So the 7th and 8th graders are only eligible for JV. Once they become a freshman, then they're eligible for varsity then. And we can move them around accordingly. Whoever's, if somebody's bowling really good, then we'll move them up to varsity and back and forth if we need to, so.
Can they bowl both JV and varsity in one night or not?
No, they're not supposed to. There was an exception or 2 last year, I think, and stuff, but,
I was just wondering if it was like basketball where they could play, you know, bowl 2 frames at the JV and then come up and bowl 2 at the varsity or something, split time.
no, then if you start on the JV that day, then you have to bowl the entire JV, all 9 games on JV.
Can you earn a letter in bowling?
I don't think so, but as far as I know, no.
so it's just fun, that's cool. Come on, Susie, you're the only male here tonight, so what do you think, it's your first year, what do you think?
I think it's pretty fun, getting to know a lot of people from like different schools and like the culture of it. Cause at the beginning I thought it was just like a hobby,
Uh-huh.
but then I realized people actually took it seriously. All the fancy balls and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Do you watch it on TV now?
Yeah.
And it's quite the long season too, you guys have, right? When do you start?
Wait up.
We start practicing in October,
October.
and then our
you just
first meet's in
wrapped up.
December.
And you just wrapped up, right?
Yeah.
About 3 weeks ago?
Oh, wow.
And a lot of their meets are on Saturday, so not just an after school. It's definitely a commitment, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I recognize a few faces having been before us before. Do most of you have multiple things that you do throughout the year?
Like in sports wise?
Sports activities? That's good.
So who's gotten their own bowling ball now?
Oh.
Yeah. Shoot, when you move up your own ball, that's good stuff.
That's commitment.
That's commitment. Cool.
All right, any more questions? If not, now comes the time where you get your certificates and then we do a group photo. With the whole board. All right, so I'm going to start with the coaches. I'm gonna call your name and have you come up and give your certificate and shake your hand, and Jesse will take a picture.
There.
So, Coach Alex Van Lennen.
Over here.
Oh, we can, yeah.
Sure. All right.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing. Thank you. Tomas, I went in alpha order, so you're the first. And I did reverse with the girls, so.
Congratulations.
You're welcome. Okay, Mackenzie's turn. I did reverse this time. Callie Bagley.
You want a picture with your mom, right?
No. Yes, she does. Yes, she does.
It's a special honor.
You know me all over, right? Harley still excited?
Said she wanted a picture with mom.
They recognize your number code and see you at church. All right, Sophia, remember. Is it Sophia or Sophie?
It's both.
Okay.
Thank you.
And Tessa Levi. So do I give you the resolution to be the secretary? Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Oh, wait, group photo, come on back in. Thank you. Yep. You guys stand in front.
What's your grandma's like?
Oh, I guess everybody else is.
You want me to- 1, 2, 3.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We want a bowling shirt.
Yeah, bring home the gold.
$20 in their pockets? $20 for mine. Yeah, I'll print. I don't know. I mean, it's 25 left. Someone's keys.
Oh, is it?
Thank you. Okay, let's mom.
All right, what's next on the agenda here?
Include printing,
Okay. Okay, student representative report by student council president Kara Krieger.
Okay, guys. Fair warning, I'm reading off of a picture I took from my notebook, and sometimes I can't read my own handwriting. So if I struggle, just give me a moment. March 13 through 15, we'll be showing the musical that the high schoolers have been working on.
What is the musical?
Just sent this.
Yeah,
Okay.
Descendants. That's actually really cool. It's like my favorite movie. March 23rd is like the Winter Sports Awards. So we'll be doing that. March 2nd is the spring sports meeting for like the student athletes that are signing up for spring sports. Juniors will be starting their ACTs on March 18th. So if you know any juniors, wish them luck for that. I don't have a date written down here, but anyone participating in DI, Destination Imagination, they're going into the regional tournament sometime in March.
It's on
It's
Saturday.
Or,
Saturday, yeah.
yeah, sometime in February, how about that? Also, the high school students will be featuring their art in the student art exhibit on March 6th from 5 to 8 p.m. So if you want to see like what the students have been working on in art class, they'll be showing that.
Is that here? The school?
I
this year. Generally, it's at different, places downtown. So it'll be like students from Kiwanee, students from Algoma, they
Oh,
feature
yeah.
them in the different art places downtown.
Yeah, neat. Yes, still, Yardstick has,
Yep, plans to-
Clay on Steel have, I think sometimes, the Flores Steel Training has,
Yep.
Yonder has a few. I don't know if Robert Ray does any. I know, but it's like first Friday, walk around, check
Yeah.
them all out, it's really kinda cool.
It's really cool.
There's some very talented artists, and then you can vote for who you think.
Speaking of art, this artist of the month, which is like a student we pick from art classes, is Serena Ramirez. So that's Sophia's younger sister. So yeah. The Period Girls have done, so they do a lot of like things to gain money for their period initiative. And around this time they've done like, they're calling it Money Wars, but a couple years ago, it's like they put money in jars of all the teachers and then they'll get like pied in the face. And last year, they ended up also pieing the girls in the face, so that was funny. This year though, I think it's a bunch of different like competition games that the teachers will be doing. So like, they vote on the teachers that they want to participate, and then those teachers will participate in like, these like little fun games.
The Olympics, I saw the
Yeah,
jars when I
like the
viewed it.
Teacher Olympics.
Yeah, that's what they were called.
And then I have like two things for sports. Again, not my forte, so. But the girls' basketball team won against Freedom, I think this past weekend, maybe. And then I think this coming weekend, or soon, or maybe this week, the boys will be playing Kiwanee tonight. Okay, yeah. So this week.
There you go, you were right. You were right.
And that is all I have for you guys.
Any questions? Thank you very much. All right, next up is the board correspondent report by me. So, I did email all of you, there are 21 education bills on the way to Governor Evers. I did not want to read them all, because some will get vetoed, some will get passed. And I will probably be commenting on those or talking about them once he signs them and I get them off his desk. No new legislation will be coming forward to him as the legislators are out campaigning right now. So, but there are, as I said, 21. If anyone in the public wants to view what any of those bills are, they can go to the Wisconsin Association of School Board Associations webpage, WASB, and you can take a look at all of those. And then what's the next thing up here? All right. This time in April, on the April 7th ballot, there are going to be 74 questions in 72 districts that will see different referendum questions. This is down from last year, but it's still a significant amount of schools that are having to go to referendum. 56 of those are asking for temporary or non-recurring authority to increase the district's revenue limit. 6 are asking for permanent authority to increase the revenue limit. And 12 will be borrowing, referendum for construction, remodeling, and maintenance. The governor and the Republican legislature are coming together to develop, to develop a framework. They've developed the framework already, but they're trying to figure out how to spend that $2.5 billion surplus that the state has. They're talking, which is good. Something is going to be on the books. Both sides want some form of tax rebates for citizens, so that's wonderful. Right now, the governor has proposed $200 million in additional monies for special education aid, $450 million for general school aid, $550 million for the school levy tax, and then $97 million towards exempting tax on tips. He also has other proposals in there for teachers who use their own money to pay for supplies, but that's not getting much traction. The Senate Assembly plan has put together that they want $1.4 billion of rebates, $1,000 to married couples and $500 to all other filers, $500 million for the school levy limit. So there's just a $50 million, that sounds so silly, but it's $50 million, that's a lot of money. Difference there. $200 million for special ed, which is great, that'll get us closer to the 42% funding. $30 million in grants, up to $50,000 per business and $25,000 per household impacted by flooding. $1.4 million to fund a deduction for some expenses incurred by educators, I spoke about that earlier, and additional positions to administer food share after cycle changes. The governor gave his last State of the State address on February 17th. This is 2026 is the year of the neighbor, highlighting the importance of community and togetherness during divisive times and celebrating the neighbors who make Wisconsin the great place that it is to call home. So it was a nice way to kind of end his tenure as our governor. He spoke about what he's accomplished over the past 7 years. Some of his things that he wants to carry forward is to do what's best for kids and invest in an education at every level. To build the 21st century infrastructure Wisconsin needs to support a 21st century economy and workforce. Uplift the state's farmers, producers, and agricultural industries. Expand access to affordable housing. Lower everyday out-of-pocket costs for Wisconsinites and working families. And bolster key industries across the state, including tourism and outdoor recreation. And that is all that I have for this month. Anybody have any questions? Wonderful. Next up is the board CISA 7 report.
Our CISA meeting, we kicked off with a recap of the state convention. CISA had a booth, hopefully you got to interact with them while you were there. And then Donna also recapped the delegate assembly, which I believe I sent you the notes. She took a lot of notes after the delegate assembly, that worked on that and had a really nice summary. So we've volunteered her to hopefully do it again next year because she was really good at it. In terms of CISA, we're starting on the 26-27 school year district contracts. Some good growth again in NUYA, the Youth Apprentice Program. We did some Head Start policy reading, and then the big announcement, which I already emailed to the board, but there is a free community event in Mishicot on March 18th about sextortion, extortion from like a sexual blackmailing type thing. Free food, free presentation, sponsored by Department of Justice, the Mishicot Police Department, and the Yindra family. We have Mishicot on our CISA board, and another one of their board members lost a child to sextortion, so they are making it their mission to help educate others on it. So I can't attend, but I'm hoping that some other people can go. So that's all I have.
Any questions for Chrissy?
Chrissy, when is it?
Wednesday, March 18th. Starts at 5, the presentation's at 6, and it's at the Old Fox Hills. It's called Fairway Inn now, but if you're familiar with Mishicot, it's Fox Hills. And I think they said it is blunt and powerful and recommended for ages 10 plus, but it is especially impactful when parents and children attend together.
Said March 19th, right?
18th.
Pre-register, right?
Yep, there is a pre-register. I think I sent it over in your email, or it's in a CISA newsletter, or if you know someone to share it with, feel free.
Thank you. Next up is the board president announcements. I had a few, but Kara took most of them. We have Bandorama coming up March 17th at 6:30, and the boys and girls basketball playoffs are starting soon. So the girls start this Friday, boys are next week, so that's wonderful. And then I was talking about the musical and DI, but we will recap those. So this is Public Schools Week, so I have a little bit of a blurb for that. In recognition of Public Schools Week, the Algoma School District Board of Directors proudly celebrates the students, educators, staff, and families. Our schools are the foundation of this community, a place where students learn, grow, and prepare for their futures. Strong public schools are essential to a thriving community, and we remain committed to supporting our students, staff, and the shared future. So, have a great Public School Week. Thank you. And I don't have anything else, so we can move on. Public comment. None. Okay, up next are the administration reports.
All right, good evening, everyone. Key takeaways for tonight. We'll do an update on district finances through Amber. update on some strategic planning, where we're at with that. And then Jesse Durst will come up and give some information on our new website and usage report, so. Okay, go ahead, Amber.
So not a whole lot to report for you guys in January. Things have been kind of quiet. We did get our first property tax settlement checks from all 5 municipalities that we lie within. And about 41% of the Fund 10 levy was collected, around 89% of Fund 80 levy was collected, and then all of Fund 39. So what we do when the money comes in, we apply 100% to that debt levy first, and then we apply it to the community service fund, Fund 80, and then whatever's left goes to Fund 10. So Fund 10 gets paid last. For expenditures, the only real major expense coming out of Fund 10 in January was the district property liability insurance. It renews in January of every year. It was up from last year, but the increase was in line with what we had plugged into the budget, so that was wonderful news. We did make one small change to the way we pay the premiums. We used to pay it all in January. They offered a 50-50 payment where we pay 50% now, and 6 months from now we pay the remaining 50% at no fee. So we chose to go that route so we can hold on to our money for that extra 6 months and earn just a little bit extra interest. And then Fund 27, Marie Ott and I have been attending some special education budget training courses. There are 2 in-person and then 2 virtual. And this is a brand new class that was put together this year by WASBO, which is the Wisconsin Association of School Business Officials, and then WCAS, and I don't know what WCAS stands for. It's something with the special education section. And what we have been learning is there are different ways to code our expenses to make sure we get the most out of the IDEA flow through grant funds from the federal government, the aid payments from the state, and it's become especially important this year because they did some changes with how we code and what account numbers we can code things to. So the prime example is schooling, private placement schooling. So we've got 2 kiddos that have a special placement. Last year that was aidable cost, this year it is not. So we have to use grant funds or try and use the high cost special education funding. So we learned a lot of tips and tricks at the last meeting on how to calculate high cost and make sure we're getting the most bang for our buck.
Yeah, how much do those 2 kiddos cost?
They are both over 30,000.
That's
So 30,000 is the baseline.
We hit the high
Yep.
cost.
Yep.
That's good.
Yeah. So then there's different things you can calculate in. One of them has a dedicated van that drives into to Green Bay and back, and he's the only one in there. So all of the gas, the maintenance on that vehicle can be included. So we tracked all of that this past year. So the prior year, you submit high cost reimbursements right now for last year's costs. So last year, we had just 1 kiddo that was going to specialized schooling for 2 months, 3 months out of the year. So we only got a few grand back. This year, I'm hoping we're gonna get more, but it's a pot of money that gets divided amongst all the school districts, and we've heard that Milwaukee is going to file for high cost, and they have to pay more. So that's gonna really impact how much we get.
Gonna dent that pot of money.
It's, yeah, so, and we won't know for a couple more months yet what we're gonna get. So, but this training class is really paying off, and we've already found some ways we can rearrange our expenses to try and get the most for the school, so.
What's the criteria for applying for the high cost? Is it
They
among
gotta
students?
be, the cost has to be more than $30,000 per student. So there's some different ways you can calculate programs, and like we can lump all of our pairs together and create a program, and then say they serve 5 kids and divide the cost over those 5 kids, and then if that gets over 30,000, we can claim that. Usually isn't gonna happen because we usually have more kids than paras, but if you have a 1-to-1 or specialized schooling, that usually puts them over.
Equipment needs for students.
Yeah.
So say we need to purchase some specialized technology equipment or some wheelchairs or
have to be over 30,000. Then they take off any Medicaid reimbursement we get for medical services provided. Then they deduct any aid that we get from the state, and then what's left is what you get paid on. Okay. Moving on to our other funds, referendum debt. All the tax revenues, like I said, were received in January. In Fund 46, we did purchase that bus in January if the checks went out in February. So when they delivered the bus, that's when we actually gave them the check. And then in Fund 49 referendum capital, we did a progress payment to Bayland along with a few other minor payments. And then the referendum financials update. We started January with just over $4 million. We ended the month with a little over $3 million. So we're starting to get down there, which is good. So.
Almost done.
Mm-hmm.
How much time do we have left on that?
About a year and a half.
Okay.
We have till July 27. So. That's all I have.
Any questions for Amber? All right, strategic planning. So, again, a strategic plan is a comprehensive, forward-looking document that the district will use to define the mission, vision, and our core values, and really kind of map out some long-term goals for the district. And within that, then you create some action steps that will help guide decision-making and make sure that they're aligned with our district resources, allocations, and that they're aligned with our future growth that we want to see in our students. So right now, we are currently at the stage of where we're looking at multiple data sources across the district to determine where we are at performing as a school district. That data includes student achievement scores, our state report card scores that we've received from DPI, where our kids are at post-secondary in terms of preparation, how many dual credit courses, AP courses they're all taking, and then some overall trends that we just see in district data. Enrollment numbers, special education numbers, those types of things. So if you remember back in December, the board approved the contract with Kathy Cook and Michael Gallagher for their company, KCMG International LLC. Kathy is a former superintendent from the Hamilton School District, and Michael's got the business background. They're a husband and wife team. They've worked with a number of districts across the state on strategic planning, and they have really been proven, the results have been proven to work with districts that we have partnered with. So for those that have not been involved with strategic planning, our journey is going to last over 18 months. We began the strategic planning phase in February. We kind of kicked that off. And then once we get into August through June of 27 is when we'll start looking at some tactical planning. And that's where it's specific to each individual building level. So I just want to do a breakdown of where we're at in terms of meetings that we've held already and where we're going in the future. So on February 2nd, Kathy and Michael came and met with our administrative team. We looked at where our current data is in terms of student performance. We have our first upcoming full strategic planning meeting this Thursday on February 26th. That will involve parents, students, community members, staff members, board members, administrative team. Again, we're going to review all of the data that the administrative team has put together. We're going to look closely at what the district's mission, vision, and core values are and see if there's some refinement that we want to do to those. And then we'll finally look at some high leverage opportunities to improve student learning outcomes. So start looking at some of those goal settings. I added a meeting 2.5, you'll see, which I think I sent you all a text last week on. March 9th seemed to be the date that worked the best for everyone. So that will involve Kathy and Michael coming up to meet with for about an hour and a half with just the board. They would like to review the feedback that we received from the February 26th meeting to kind of guide the work that we're going to do for strategic planning meeting number 3, which will be with our instructional leaders on March 16th.
What time is the 9th at?
5 o'clock. 5 to 6:30 here at the high school.
Is that going to be recorded and YouTubed or not?
It was not going to be, no.
I'm just, if I'm not feeling up to joining,
Yeah.
I didn't know if I'd be able to watch it back.
March 16th date is really when we're going to bring together some of our instructional leaders from both of our school buildings, our teachers, and start brainstorming what is that we want to see in terms of outcomes for our students. That information then will be brought back to the full strategic planning team, which will be community members again, parents, students, staff, at the April 16th meeting, where we are going to kind of affirm what our mission, vision, and core values are for the district, and then draft a strategic plan that night. The final strategic plan will be looked at on May 6th, and that will be a final review by the administrative team, and then it'll be brought to the full board for a vote after that for approval. So, you as the school board have the final say in what that strategic plan looks like. That is it for strategic planning. Any questions?
So we are the 26th, the 9th, and April 16th?
Yep, so
Okay.
board will be on the February 26th, this Thursday, the March 9th, and then the April 16th.
Perfect. And I did work out tonight.
All right, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Durst.
Hello there. So Jesse asked me to give you guys kind of an update picture of some of our website statistics. It was about a year ago we decided to move to a different direction with our website. One of the big reasons was ADA compliance. We wanted to make sure that we were optimized for mobile, since a lot of the people are accessing it via phone, and also be able to make them be able to find their information faster and quicker. This slide that we're looking at here is a snapshot from last month's data. You can see the top viewed pages, the number one being our homepage that people are starting with. It's very obvious that our families are using the website as a practical use, so they're going there for information. If you look at our calendar, food service, staff directory, and our teachers and staff are using it to get to resources that they need. So, this next slide is our Google search queries. This is the top queries. So this is what people are putting in to Google when they're searching for us. Probably not much of a surprise, but it's primarily around the school district or food lunch or calendar. The next slide shows you in those search categories what pages are showing up the most. These are the most pages in that category that display when they do those searches. So you can again see that the homepage is the number one site there. The next slide, you might see some places that you wouldn't expect. I don't know if those are bots, but primarily we are being searched in the United States. But there are Canada and some other places that are showing up on our search queries. The next slide is by city. To no one's surprise, other than Chicago, I don't know why Chicago is up there, but Algoma being the highest one, and then surrounding communities are high on there with Two Rivers, Milwaukee, Green Bay, Sturgeon Bay, and Kewaunee. So primarily being our locals. The next one kind of goes to our first point that we were trying to make it mobile friendly. You'll see that majority of our clicks from searches are coming from mobile devices. Desktop number 2. You'll also notice that if you can see that on there, you'll see the impressions. That's how many times our page is being viewed in the searches. The clicks are how many times they've been clicked on in the searches. So there's more on the desktop version, but we're getting more clicks, almost 2 to 1 on mobile.
From the app or mobile?
Just from your mobile phone, like looking at it, like people are Google searching Algoma from their phones.
Do you have any data on the app and how that's driven?
I know it was Jesse wanted me to look for that. I could not find any data
Okay.
on how many downloads we have or how often it's being used. I can definitely open a support ticket, see if there's something we can get from that.
I would be curious. I mean, maybe
yeah.
that's why they're going to the web page and not using the app. I don't know.
Yeah, it would be really nice. One thing we don't have too is I don't know any of these statistics from our previous website. It would have been nice to compare, but we don't have that, unfortunately. The last slide I have here kind of goes to my last point. We want to make sure that people were being able to access information they want without having to search for it. That is what I'm getting from this slide. You can take it how you want, but the average time per user is about 1.5 minutes. Average time per session, which is that one on the right there, is about 34 seconds. So each time someone goes to the website, it's about 34 seconds that they're on it, which means to me that they're finding what they want and they're done.
Or they're moving on. I mean, is it a shorter time than like, oh, not what a page I want, I need to go here?
No, this is their entire time on our site. So my guess is they're going, they're hitting the calendar, they're hitting food service, what are we having for lunch today? Contact information, they're finding it, and they're done.
Okay.
So if I heard more complaints, then I would say like, well, they're just not, liking what we have, but I have to assume that they're finding what they need.
Okay.
Any other questions?
What about this data? What are you gonna do? How are you gonna mainstream it and make it better?
So I think we're on a good track of where we're supposed to be, because obviously they're hitting sites that they need, like the calendar, the food service. If you dig a little deeper, you could probably find that down some sites that maybe we can move to the forefront that they're not getting to right away. But otherwise, just keeping that up to date, making sure it's optimized and the information is on that homepage as much as possible, because that is the first thing that they see. So we have a lot of icons on there that jump right to our calendar, right to our lunch. And obviously we rolled out a app which you can get a lot of that information from as well.
And what's the total hits? I can't see that.
So we hit, from the Google searches, I looked back all the way to when we launched the site, and it's about 2,000 clicks per month.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah,
That's
so
why.
it's about 2,000 per month on average, I would say.
That's about everybody in Algoma.
Has it made your life easier?
For me, it's definitely easier to manage the website versus the old website. It allows us to divvy up permissions to other users who might be able to update that, and it makes it easier for them. Definitely helps us be ADA compliant because there are rules put in place. So when someone uploads an image, they're forced to put alt text. So when you load that page, if you're visually impaired, it talks to you. So it helps us stay in compliance there.
Some of those clicks for me, I have to say, from using the old site when my kids were in school compared to finding the information you need on this site, it's night and day. I mean, it's a huge difference, so. You're right, it was pretty quick. I got exactly what I needed, really quick, and then I was done.
Is the app mirrored to kind of the website, or just a shortened version?
It's like an app, so like you can customize it yourself to a degree. You can set certain parameters of what you want to see. So if you want your tile on your app to be the food service, you can do that. Another thing about this website, which I didn't put up here, but it does help with communication. I don't know if you guys have noticed with when we have off for like a snow release or anything like that, there's a banner that goes across the top. If you downloaded the app and you set up push notifications, you get a push notification from that. So you don't even have to worry about messages that we send via text or call. You'll get that instantly from that as well. It allows us a lot of flexibility to put information up as a pop-up when people first hit our site, something we couldn't do on the other site.
So the food service being one of the most hit pages on our site, is that parents looking, or is that kids like, oh, what are we having for lunch, because I'll bring my own, it's not
It
something I want.
could be both. Obviously, we don't require a login or anything to track anything, so we can't tell like ages.
Can't find a piece of paper, gotta look it up on the app or.
I was gonna say, we could use that data, so we know if the kids don't like something for lunch, just quit making it then, right?
Well, I'm sure Mary would probably have some information for you on that. Have you guys installed the app at all? Have you guys
No, I
used
just
it?
went and made a note to do it.
Yeah, I have not.
I do get 4 notifications every morning.
At
It's
6
nice, right?
a.m.
4.
I get 5.
You get 5?
Yeah.
About what?
I don't know because
It's the same thing.
I push on it and it just brings up the, I'm not gonna read one, sorry, I've not found the app to be as friendly as the website or the emails that I'm getting, so I do not utilize it.
Oh, I find it to be the same.
Well, I would love to hear more about that.
Okay.
Algoma School.
Algoma Schools.
You just go on like iOS,
Yep, right in the Play Store. Shelley, you and I don't talk.
Okay.
I don't get it. I don't get that.
You know,
Mm-mm.
everyone informed.
I don't get any of that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
We can chat another time on that.
All right.
Next up is. Yeah. I didn't know if I should announce it or you, so that's why. Next up is
You.
Miss Katie Ward. The administrator report she is our ABA and Pathfinder principal, the Pack of Pups Child Care Director.
All right, we're gonna start with ABA. We have some pretty cool projects going on, so I'll give an update on those. The first one, our students just read the book Talk Everlasting, where they talk about giving back to the community. So students are currently designing 3 little libraries for the community with things that they're passionate about. So one student is looking at doing like infant care supplies. One student is looking at doing dog care supplies. One is doing art supplies, and then our group that's the beach cleanup, I think, is going to turn in the buckets that they're talking about with cleaning up the beach and tie it into their free little library and put things in there. Our middle school students are also looking at third spaces, if you've heard of those before. So third spaces are just kind of community building spaces. They're focusing on teenagers, and so they are dreaming up different designs of what they would love for third spaces to look like in Algoma. 2 students are dreaming up a design of redesigning the youth club to kind of make it have different activities for different age ranges, because we do have quite a wide variety of ages that go to the youth group. One student is dreaming up, sorry, this is probably not going to happen, but a sports facility with equipment for lifting and playing multiple sports, similar to the wellness center, but specifically focused on teens. And then 2 students are dreaming up a cafe that would be open later in the day, where students can get homework help and get their work done, because a lot of them don't necessarily get the help they need after school hours. So it's been kind of a cool project for them to just be able to dream and design different things. Next quarter, we have a group of students working with Nicole Meverden and creating a virtual map of some of the historic sites and buildings in Algoma. So we are pairing up our junior class with some of our middle school students as mentors, basically, and then they're working with Nicole to get that map created, which will be pretty cool. I don't know what they're using currently, but like I said, it's a next quarter project. So I'm hoping they will showcase that at Project Showcase. You can get an update.
Will they tie that in with what Sean came to city council for with his app?
It's not been, no.
Okay. That would be cool if it could tie in.
Is that the request? I know somebody's requesting information on the railroad. Is that part of that?
Sean Smith is doing a geocaching, and he just came to the council to ask permission to put 5 little cache boxes, like at the library, at the lighthouse, even though we can't get there, but near it. And then, you know, if you've ever done it, you get the coordinates and then you look for it. It's kind of like Pokemon was a big thing with that. But I thought it was a cool idea, and Scott Meverden brought up, in Montello, he had said that they had signs where you could read about the things going on in the community. It sounds very similar to what this student might be doing, so it would be cool if we could overlap them somehow.
That's cool. I just did a little note on that. We have a group of students in a youth entrepreneurs group with students from Denmark. They are pitching ideas to different regional stakeholders that have different expertise in different areas. So some of the projects that are being in the Shark Tank are a community building that has to do with music, to bring people together around the arts and intergenerational well-being. We have one student, Berkeley, who wants to expand her coffee cart to other schools. So she'll be pitching that to different stakeholders that have connections to different schools. We have one student who wants to reduce barriers into getting animals into the school as a learning environment rather than just therapy animals. And then one student who would like to open their own landscaping business, so he'll be pitching it to different people who have expertise in the landscaping area and how they can Newman Park, update on that, the picnic tables are standing, they're working on standing them, and then we'll put them out when it's a little bit nicer outside. And the pavilion is in the process of being built, so that'll be ready for spring as well. The pickleball tournament was this past weekend, that was a success, we had 20 teams play.
Did you win?
And
No, took second.
our very own Mr. Robertson won.
Dave and Josh
First
won.
place, and then Amy's team took second. That's always really fun to.
It was rigged.
watch
Tell them
and
to say it was
It
rigged.
was rigged.
No, they were very good. It was,
His nephew Josh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
he's only here for 4 months.
Oh.
he is.
But they're they're just very good. They had lots of spins. It was
really-
very fun. We had
it
a
was
great
fun to
time.
watch.
It was a lot of fun.
In front of you have our mid-year data for Fast Bridge.
Okay, before you get
Oh, yeah,
started,
sorry.
the projects, are these
Yes.
6 weeks, 8 weeks, or a semester?
Depends on the project.
Okay,
The Free Little Libraries will be all semester because they're currently working on expanding them, getting their drawings up to what they want them to look like, and then the second half will be building the Free Little Libraries.
right.
Yeah, the third space, I think, is a quarter project. The virtual map will be a quarter project. Shark Tank, the kids have been working on it since last semester, actually, so that's been,
Ongoing.
yeah, and same with Newman Park.
Yeah,
That was obviously started last year.
right, yeah. I was just curious, because, I mean, the projects are wonderful and they're very expansive. I just didn't know, is it something, I think they have 6 weeks to do, or how long they have
That's
to do?
just one, I mean, most of our students are working between 3 and 5 projects at a time, so that's just one of their bigger ones that they're working on.
Okay, before you go,
Yes.
when do they determine how many projects they're going to do? Is it the beginning of the year, they say, okay, I have 3 that I'm gonna do, or 5 that I'm gonna do?
So it depends kind of on what their credit needs are. So some of our middle schoolers, obviously, their credits aren't necessarily going towards graduation at this point because they're in middle school. And if they're new, they generally will start out with like 3 or 4.
Mhm.
2 of them at least being teacher-led, so they can get an idea of what project this learning is all about, how we plan projects. But kids that are, sophomores, juniors, and seniors, generally will have more because they have more electives that they need to do. So they'll have their core projects and then elective projects as well. A lot of times, of course, tying to each other, so a lot of times the English and social studies projects will tie in and be one project together with both standards mixed in, but depends on.
Wow, okay, thanks.
So one quick question, too, on the projects, at the showcase, there was a couple students who were doing the beach cleanup.
Yep.
How's that project going?
Good, so their Free Little Library is tying into the beach cleanup. So the buckets for the beach cleanup will likely be in the Free Little Library. So that's still being expanded, and I believe they're also meeting with the Friends of Crescent Beach to plan on that project.
Very cool.
Yep. They're pretty invested, so. Which is really cool because they're 7th graders and it's their first year in ABA and their first big project, so that's been pretty cool.
Yeah.
Our mid-year data for Fast Bridge, so that is what is in front of you. Our 7th graders this year has been historically a group that has struggled, as you can see on some of their test scores. So what we're doing with the data is that Abigail has, for English, is kind of going back to basics with them and doing some interventions with like spelling, phonemic awareness, different comprehension and decoding strategies for their reading. Because like I said, these are students that have in the past struggled. Also, it's not uncommon for our new students to struggle because when they come into ABA, they have to kind of unlearn how to learn because it is completely different than sitting and getting, which from 4K on, that's what these students have been doing, is just sitting and getting information rather than having to research their own information. And then I was talking to Dave because we were kind of comparing our data, and he said, well, if you look at all of our historical data for the high school and both ABA, winter has been just kind of a slide for our students. So I am curious as to what our spring scores will be. And then our panorama survey results are in ABA, instead of doing the My Savers, which is the social emotional survey, our kids take the panorama survey, which divides it into, I think it's 6 or 7 categories. I have 5 of them shown here. We have the social awareness, self-efficacy, diversity and inclusion, positive and challenging feelings, and supportive relationships. This is our data data from when we started taking it in fall of 2022 up until fall of 2025. The scores kind of vary, but the trend from 2022 to 2025 has been up in most of the categories, which is what we want to see. And these are a lot of the things that we do focus on in ABA is kind of the social emotional learning aspect. What we take with our panorama data is we do small group instruction every other week with our kids. We do advisory groups and focus in on different areas of the panorama survey and do different activities. A lot of team building, community building activities to get the kids to kind of understand each other a little better and understand how to work with people that might have different viewpoints or a lot different lives than they do. So that's kind of what we do with our panorama survey data.
Can you explain what the vertical axis is on these panoramas? So some of them go for 20, 30.
Yeah, those are just the different scores in different areas. So like 30 would be the top score in social learning. That's what we would want kids to get. Like self-efficacy is 20, that's like the top score that they can get. Like they have different point values for different areas of the survey. Are there any other questions on this? Alright, moving on to daycare. We are currently looking for 2 full-time teachers. So that's been a fun challenge to schedule. Our mental health therapist is currently seeing 6 kids between the ages of 2 and 7. And that was our grant-funded mental health therapist. She is from Door County Medical. She comes down once a week. She sees some of our kids at the school and some of our kids at daycare. But that's been a huge help for the families that have kids seeing her. She's really amazing. It's amazing watching her because she does it all through play therapy. Like even with our 2-year-olds who don't have a lot of language skills, she does everything through play therapy. So it's absolutely fascinating to watch. And then we are in our renewal year for Youngstar. So Youngstar is a company that does ratings for daycares. The highest that we can get is a 3 because of our school, for us being in a school. I think it's every 3 years we get rated. So we haven't been rated since we got open. So we're currently gearing up for that. We're redoing some of our rooms. They have very specific things they look for when they come in. So you have to have a certain number of blocks, a certain number of science toys, a certain number of math toys. So yeah, that's going to be a process to go through again, but we're redoing our rooms and getting more of our academic materials so we can go through that rating process again.
Was our last rating a 3? Our last rating was a 3?
Yeah. And then Pathfinder, we currently have 3 students on track to graduate. We have a 4th who is deciding whether they want to graduate early or not. And then for excursions, we went to the Barlow Planetarium and the Houdini Museum recently, which was really fun. The Barlow Planetarium, we learned a ton about the different galaxies, constellations, black holes, where to find different things in the sky at what time of year. And they went on a crazy, I don't know if you've been to the Barlow Planetarium, but they do like a crazy like roller coaster ride show that I had to close my eyes to, so I thought I was gonna throw up. But it is really cool. And it was the first time for all the kids to go. And then they also had an awesome time at the Houdini Museum. I don't think they realized, like most of them knew who Houdini was, but they didn't realize that he was pretty local in history of him. So.
How many students do we have total in Pathfinder right now?
12.
12. And that goes from ages, like, or I shouldn't say ages.
Generally, it's high school, but once in a while we'll have some middle school students pop in there. It's harder with them because most of our curriculum that we have is for high school students. So if we get a middle school student, we have to get creative with academics. But I mean, it's definitely we've had elementary students in there before too. So.
Any other questions for Katie? Nope. Thanks. Doing a great job. It sounds wonderful.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah, lots of good stuff going on. Definitely. All right, next up on the agenda are the committee reports. First one is the Charter School Committee, meeting from January 6th. Now, I don't know, there are 3 of them in there, so I don't know if you wanna blend them or. take
Yeah,
them
I got them
separate.
all up, so I'm trying to keep them straight like I made the mistake of last time mixing them up. Alright, so February, we've been busy. February 26th, we met, oh, I'm sorry, January 26th, yes, see, I'm already confusing myself. We met, we went over some final details for the extension of the 1-year contract with AVA. And then we also put together an agenda to meet with the AVA Governance Board to begin conversations into a new contract. You want me to keep going?
Yeah.
February 3rd, that's the meeting we met with the Governance Board. Again, we found some things with the existing 1-year contract that needed to be changed. And then we started to break down the contract with the first 2 sections. Began discussions on aligning both parties, both the committee and the governance board, on getting that new contract rolling. And then February 19th, the committee met again to just finalize the details on that 1-year contract and prepare it for presentation to the full board. And then begin discussions on our next meeting with the governance board to work on sections 3 and 4 of the contract.
Okay, any questions? All right, if not, we'll move on to Buildings, Grounds, and Transportation Committee.
All right, we met on January 28th. We did not really discuss a whole lot other than they came with the presentation of kind of fitting the ticket booth and concession stand according to the track and the football field. And we probably hashed that over for probably a good part of 45 minutes, trying to figure out where it would fit best, different designs, different sizes and stuff, and lining that up with the parking lot.
Keeping the
And
pickleball courts?
for now. And then we basically, point of beginning was there for the whole time, and then we basically discussed trying to raise money and how they suggest going about that. We discussed that for a while, and that was it. That was what we discussed in the whole meeting, but it was an hour and a half, so.
I did have one question, and I don't know if you guys discussed it, and if it's too much, then I won't ask, but with the redesign of the parking lot and the parking, and where the football field is gonna be and possible concessions and everything, are you taking into account how people are gonna come in and exit? Okay, because I was thinking, I don't know what made me think of it, is like, we come in that one entranceway, and then people are gonna wanna scoot behind and go out that way, possibly hurting somebody coming off the field or anything. And I didn't know if that had been looked at, of maybe, you don't have to redesign the parking lot or anything anyway, but as long as you guys are thinking about it, that's, I knew you would be, but I was just curious, has that been any discussions on it?
Yep, that was discussed, ticket booth, concession, how traffic is gonna flow, how people are gonna flow, how good or bad they're gonna see it, everything.
Yeah, and buses dropping off and
Yep.
picking up, and everybody trying to leave at the same time, and is there gonna be enough parking?
There should be.
Like I don't know how many people would go to a football game, or because now if we get this football field up here, I shouldn't say if, when, we'll be able to host playoffs.
I think the thing to remember is, just like at Perry Field, you'll have parking on that side street if you want. You'll have parking on the back street if you want.
Okay.
I mean, plus the whole parking lot.
And I
all the
think
way
East
around,
Shore
so.
allows their parking lot too, don't they?
Yeah, so
Oh, I didn't know that.
you'll have a lot of parking, it's just a matter, I guess, how far you're gonna walk. And relatively speaking, I would think it's probably a closer walk from the side street than it is from the back of the parking lot,
Yeah.
Okay.
so.
It really depends who you're playing to. Like when we have basketball games versus Kiwani, we have people parking in the street.
Yeah.
I mean, our parking lots are full.
Yeah,
So
that's what made me
it's
think
really
of it,
gonna
like,
depend on who the
a lot of parking.
team is.
Okay, that was all, it just dawned on me. Anything else for the Buildings and Grounds Committee? All right, if not, Policy and Practice Committee meeting.
We met, 2 weeks ago, We went over the regular Neola updates. We asked the board to pay special attention to 5 of the policies. The first 3, 144.5, 1210, and 1240, we wanted you to thoroughly look at because a lot of it involves you as a board or a board member, the conduct and complaint process, the administrator relationship, referring issues to the superintendent if they are coming to you directly, and then the superintendent evaluation, which we just did last month. 5135 and 6608 are new policies that we wanted to bring to your attention. The student ID one is 5135, and then fundraising and crowdfunding in 6608. We did want to bring the cell phone policy to the full board, and that is on the agenda tonight. We sent some extra articles for everyone to read. Obviously, that's a topic that many people can get passionate about, and we didn't think that it was the committee's place to ask for that. We wanted to have more of a discussion as a whole board.
Mm-hmm. Any questions for Tracy? Thank you very much, chairs. And now we can move on to new business. Did you pull these out so I can just read through these all, or?
Yeah.
No?
Verbatim.
So do we want to do discussion first? How do we want to do this?
Well, 13.1 would be to approve the policies.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion. Do I have to read each number?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yes, but my question is, if we're gonna talk about 144.5, am I still gonna read that out loud? The 5 that are down below, 5135 and 6608, should I announce those?
No, those are all wrapped into the 13.1, into the
Those
motion.
we are saying the committee approved. It's 13.2 is the cell phone policy that we.
Okay, that's the only one.
5136.
All right, perfect. You just pulled them out to talk about them, so that's why I started. All right.
Yes, those are.
I would entertain a motion to recommend to approve the Neola policy updates for 0100, 0142.7, 0144.5, 1210, 1230, 1240, 2131.01, 2261.01, 2431, 4140, 5112, 5135, 5411, 5514,
Oops. Go ahead. Bill.
that's not good. 5895, 6152.01, 6320, 7540.02, 7540.08, 5830, 6605, 6608, 6610, 7230, 9211, 9215, 9700, and 9700.01.
So moved. Oh, so moved.
So points of clarification, the double 5514 listed in there should be 5515.
15, that's what I was.
Okay.
As noted on page 36 of the PDF.
All right, moved by Shannon, seconded by Jeremy, with the correction of the duplication of 5514 being 5515. All right, all those in favor of the motion to approve the policy updates signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Motion carries. Did we want to talk about any of those 5 that we pulled out?
No, I think I highlighted them and why we wanted them to specifically
All right.
read them.
Wasn't sure if we wanted.
If anyone had any
to-
questions on them.
All right, up next then is discussion on the policy 5136, which is the personal communication devices. So we have a current, did I pull mine out? We have a current policy, yes I did, on cell phones. The legislature has put into play that all districts that do not have one or do have one in place by July 2026. We already currently do. We are looking at maybe tweaking it a little bit and putting a few more parameters in, so that's what this discussion is about. I did forward an article that came out of School Perceptions that talked about our why and having clarity, communication, and consequences. So
I would open up the discussion to anyone who would like to comment on either our current policy or tweaking it a little bit more. Anything anyone want to say on that?
I just have a couple questions on clarity. So as far as these, we have a list of communication devices, so laptop computers. How is that going to be policed when students, because they get laptops in school and are using them for projects, correct?
So those would only include personal devices.
Okay,
Any
so nothing
device-
school-related.
School-related devices do not pertain to this. And there are some exceptions written into the policy for health reasons as well. So if a student has, for example, is diabetic and needs to monitor their blood sugar levels through their app on their phone, they're allowed to do that as well. If students have an IEP and there are certain technology pieces written into their IEP, those are allowable as well. So.
And right now, our current policy is that they can have them, I'm waiting for it to come up, they can have them before and after school, during a lunch break, in between classes, as long as they don't create a disruption, or otherwise interfere with the educational environment during after-school activities or at school-related functions. They can use them on the school buses, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And there are certain things that they can't do. They can't go onto internet sites and things like that. So the question is going to be, most districts with this legislation now are upgrading and going further with no cell phones, period. And consistency, that's something we may want to consider. I know we don't have a lot of movement with students from one district to another, but that's something, Denmark's doing it, Kiwani's doing it, Luxembourg's doing it. It might be consistent if we did it as well, so that students don't start hopping. I'm just curious as to the data that might be available, the incident referrals, the teachers, like how many students are caught having their cell phone out and disrupting the class.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's something I would like to know. So kind of like, what is our way? Are we doing it because it's a disruption in the class? Are we doing it because of bullying issues? Are we doing it because there's concern about kids being attached to their phones all the time? To me, I think it's all three that we might want to look at, but I just didn't know if we have any data on any of that.
So there's not specific data on discipline issues revolving around the phones. I talked with Mr. Robertson this afternoon. The amount of tracking that would take would be just unbearable. I mean, a teacher is probably saying within the hour, probably 10, 15 times to put their phones away right now. Whether it's in classrooms or if they're, I'll give you an example. I was having a discussion with Mr. Robertson last week in his office, and we were there for maybe 10 minutes. His office looks straight down the hallway, the front hallway, into the high school. I saw 5 students leave their classrooms during class to go use the restroom, and all 5 had their head down on their phone. So students are asking to leave the classroom to go to the restroom and purposely are on their phones. They're hiding in the restrooms for that purpose as well. I do have some data, though, that I can share that Mr. Robertson polled the staff members last week during their staff meeting. Sent out this quick Google form, and I asked them to share the responses with me. So, number 1 asked, cell phones are a distraction to learning here in the building. 1 being, no, they're not. 5 being, yes. So, 13 said, full yes, 100% they're a distraction. 9 said 4, and 2 said middle, 3. The next question says, I'm comfortable enforcing the current cell phone policy. Blue is strongly agree. 1 person said that they strongly agree. Or disagree, thank you. Disagree was 5 people. Neutral was 3 people. 10 people, 41.7 was agree, and 5 people said that they strongly agree.
And enforcing it means taking the phone from the student or just reporting it to you?
It depends on the frequency of how many times that student's been reminded. So first time is usually a reminder from the staff member. If it happens again, then the student is asked to give up the phone, whether to the teacher, or if the teacher or student refuses, then the administrator gets involved, typically, is the next level. So
that could be data tracking.
It could be. Mm-hmm.
Was there some explanations as to why 20% disagreed with enforcing the cell phone policy?
So my understanding with this is it's what we're saying is one teacher is allowing phones to be used in their classroom, another teacher saying no. And so it's pitting teachers against teachers sometimes on enforcing the policy. Some teachers are saying, you know,
They
it's,
don't wanna
it's
be
a
the bad
losing
guy.
battle,
Yeah.
or, you know, all these kids are having it out, so I'm not gonna enforce it to the way I should be,
Right.
so. Do you see that, Katie, in ABA? Yeah.
That they're on it a lot, or that you have problems enforcing it? I'm confused.
The kids are on their phones all the time, regardless. Like in ABA, you do names on a board, so if you're caught once, get your name on a board, you get 3 strikes, and once you're out, you're out. We get the phones in our office, and they give them back at the end of the day.
Is that for a certain period of time or for the rest of the year?
Well, they can get their phones back at the end of the day, and then.
Oh, that starts over.
But if it's like
Okay.
consistently an issue, then the parents involved, and it's just honestly obnoxious.
Mm-hmm.
So how often are you doing that? Once a week, out every day?
Taking phones daily.
That's what I thought.
Like the other issues, like Jesse said, they will go hide out in the bathroom for 30 minutes just to be on their phones, or they're going to the bathroom, using their phone to meet up with other people in the bathroom, and it's just a constant revolving door.
Yeah, this one out of that school perceptions article, which interests me, was, you know, they talked about the leniency, like what's the barrier of leniency of discipline in the beginning, because there's gonna be that learning curve of, hey, this is no longer possible, right? Do we have an idea of what that's gonna look like, or are we just gonna kind of play it by ear?
So, talking with other districts, one being Luxembourg Casco, who implemented the policy that we're looking at right now, would be option A on the blank draft version that I forwarded to all of you. They said the first 2 weeks was very difficult enforcing it. By the end of the second week, kids just knew.
Yeah.
They were getting their phone taken away no matter what, and they didn't want that, so it does get easier, but the first 2 weeks are gonna be the most difficult with enforcing it.
Where are them phones going when they're coming in?
Currently?
Right now.
Or?
Right now versus the new policy, if we approve it.
Right, so the way the new policy would be written is from bell to bell is what we're suggesting, no phones out. So meaning from the start of the school day all the way to the end of the day. If a student has their phone out, whether it's in class, in the hallway, in the lunchroom, in the bathroom, it automatically gets taken away by an adult. So
but
the adult can keep it in their classroom.
But they're able to have it on them?
They can have it on them. It needs to be powered off, but they can keep it in their backpack, their coat pocket, their locker, wherever they want. But the minute it's seen, it gets removed.
They even have it on their person, the other districts it's working?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I just wanna make a comment about my opinion on what we're proposing. Personally, and I do have a teenager, and I know a number of teenagers, they may push back. My daughter actually was like, it is what it is, you know, it's a rule. Myself, I think from bell to bell, we are taking any of the internet dangers out of our hands. Nobody can say, well, they were sex-torted on school time or anything. I do believe on buses before and after, I think a lot of parents look at the GPS thing and like to know that their child has arrived at their destination. But personally, I don't think that children need it. Generations of us made it through school with no cell phones. And I think it could be a huge detriment to learning if they're allowed to keep them in class. So that's my little.
Thank you. What did
Can we
we say
continue?
about our cell
Yeah.
phone policy being
So,
more strict?
This next question says, our cell phone policy should be more clear. And no one strongly disagreed with it. One person disagreed, 10 people were neutral, 9 people agreed, and 4 people strongly agreed. This I found interesting. Our cell phone policy should be more strict. 75% or 18 of our teachers of the 24 said yes. 1 said no, and 5 said maybe.
Is 24 a good turnout
That's what I was
of your
gonna say.
staff?
How many-
or
what's your total?
For the middle school and high school, yes,
Okay.
yes.
How many
That
total
is,
do we have up at the high school?
I would say maybe there's a handful of maybe 3, 4 that did not take this probably.
So I think all of these graphs are a good indication of what's going on with the teachers too, because, you know, the teachers that really don't have a problem and maybe allow them in their classroom are going, yeah, I don't really have a problem with it, so I think it's strict enough and whatever. But I think that's where the clarity part of that
Yeah,
article,
yeah.
I think I think it has to be set all one way.
Well, it does take, it puts all the teachers on a level field. I have actually heard kids, teenagers, well, I don't like this teacher. They won't let us have our phone. I love this one. You know, are you missing out on some good things from this teacher purely because they won't let you have your phone?
I mean, I think there's something to be said about, you know, is there gonna be a disciplinary action of teachers who are circumventing the policy because they've already allowed cell phone usage in the past? You know,
We've addressed that. But again, it's hard because we're not in the classroom all the
Right.
time.
Well,
So
I
we
get
don't know
that.
what teachers are allowing it.
right.
So,
I'm just thinking, you know, you wanna be the cool teacher, oh, it's okay in my class, you can do it, just don't tell nobody you're doing it. I'm hoping that all teachers are following the policies.
and the
but-
way that the policy is written now, it allows them to be able to use their phone, the
Right.
kids that have their phone
Yeah.
in the classroom, if the teacher says yes. So technically, they're really not breaking a policy right now.
Right,
But if this goes into place,
they will then.
Then it's across the board,
then if, you know,
no phones.
Right.
Amy says, hey, I'll allow you to use your phone in here, just, you know,
Don't tell anyone.
I mean,
Just once.
then the discipline action comes down to the teacher.
Mhm.
So is there
And the
any,
student? And the student?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
is there any schools
If the
that
teachers
you
want
know
it.
of offhand that maybe have, for say, like a little locker area for phones when they walk in the door?
So there are like pocket charts that you can purchase and things like that. The challenge I run into, I feel like as a district, we're then liable for that phone. We're taking possession of that phone. So if it gets lost, broken, now it's in our possession, it's under our
New
supervision.
iPhone's $1,800.
So I don't know if that's the route we wanna go. Most of the districts that have already adopted this say they're out of sight,
No phones.
no phone.
Yeah, and I think, you know, adopting a new policy, I think, you know, it also, a level of trust with your students and your staff too, right? That you're gonna follow the policy. And yeah, you're gonna have some outliers here and there, but you're hoping that everybody understands. Clearly, the teachers think it's a good idea.
So what would be the disciplinary action of the kids that got caught?
Take the phone for the day. And if it's a repeat over and over, then we'll have the parent come pick it up at the end of the day. We keep the phone until it.
That's one of the things the articles talk about, is having a clear path so that the kids know each
Right.
of the steps. And I think that would be important to share. I also think we should allow parents to come to the March board meeting to share their ideas. Give them a little public input to talk about the cell phone policy, whether they like it, they dislike it, they're all for it. If there's any way that we can get it out there, parents, if you can come to the next board meeting, I think that, again, that same line of do it with them instead of to them. If we get parental support, this isn't gonna be a problem at all. because you take your phone, you know better than to do that, you're now, I mean, you don't wanna suspend a child, but, they need to know that there is something that's going to happen to them if they do something wrong.
So,
That would be my suggestion.
you mentioned that you saw a number of students heading to the bathroom. Is this gonna create a new issue of everybody just has to go to the bathroom? Because there's no cameras, there's no way to prove they're on a phone in there.
You'd be surprised, kids will notice and they will report that to an adult member.
Yeah.
They, yeah.
And I was gonna say, I think there's like, when my kids misbehaved and I took their cell phones away, you swear you were taking their birthday away, right? Like, taking their phone away was like, oh my goodness, you could take anything else, but don't take my phone. And that's how we knew that, okay, well, this is the best punishment, because, so, like Jesse was saying, that they don't want their phones in somebody else's hands, right? They wanna keep
And
them
they're
to
smart,
themselves.
they can have a burner phone, and then they take their battery out and put it in the burner phone and find, so. Yeah, they do, some kids have two phones.
Some kids have many more than two phones.
Yeah, and.
It's gonna happen regardless.
Oh, absolutely, so, I mean, this is a nice zero policy, is a good.
I'm in favor of it.
The one thing I am excited about if this goes through is like lunch period. Like, if you walk into our cafeteria right now, kids don't even talk at lunch, because their heads are in their phones.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna make the comment, it'd be interesting, and I know we can't really, well, I guess we can look at, I think it's gonna have an impact on their academics too. You know, I can't imagine if they're in a classroom asking to go to the bathroom so they can text boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, friends down the hall, in class, they're already thinking about getting out of class to go text. They're not paying attention to the curriculum, right? So, I think there's benefits all the way around, and I'm sure some of the schools have expressed some of that.
But if they're not talking at lunch, that means they're not socializing. That's a psychological issue, that these guys aren't getting that interaction.
They're probably texting each other at lunch, and they're sitting right next
They
to
do,
each other.
they do, they literally do.
It's gotta be quiet at lunch.
No, there's a good number of kids that still talk.
Okay.
Probably the kids that don't have cell phones.
And just to be clear, we're looking at not implementing it this school year yet.
Correct.
This would be the start of next school year. So,
Is there a particular reason, or just not to disrupt the flow, or?
I just think we're already into,
Yeah.
well beyond halfway point of the year.
We should do it like the last 2 weeks of the school.
And then, so, other ideas you can do to kind of share with the kids is, you can have a day for $1, they get to have their phone for 1 period. They have to, even, you could make it a fundraiser where they can use their phone for 1 period, maybe it's a study hall, here's your $1, 1 day only. I mean, you can make challenges like that, or you can turn it into, and maybe that might be something to do after Easter, is saying, okay, everyone, no electronics day. No one bring it, we're gonna try it and see what it's like. I know it won't happen, but there are ways that you can start gearing them up towards it. So again, they're gonna complain, so if we can ease them into it, especially get the parents on board, I think it'll be a no-brainer.
And everyone still has a calculator and a Chromebook, like, they're not.
Snapchat on their Chromebooks, like, they know how to
Yeah.
get around, they're smart. So they know how to get on things that they're not supposed to get on.
And from a parent standpoint, if they're paying by the data, they're gonna be happy, because there's gonna be a lot less data being used.
Yeah, that's true, they can find proxies, they know how to get around. More firewalls.
I do want to just mention too, I've heard the concern about parents being able to get a hold of children, right? Parents are more than welcome to call a school, and we will get kids either on the phone or get them to call back, so.
But again, from that article, what I really found interesting was, if there is an incident at the school and the parents need to get a hold of their child, we need the child listening to the teacher, not on their cell phone, having it ping, possibly alerting everyone as to where they may be sheltered in place. So I think that's an important piece that we need to get. It's for safety. It's not just because we're being evil.
Yeah, and I did have some of those concerns, and after that article, it made a lot of sense.
And so the policy that you received, the blank one, the template,
Mm-hmm.
we are looking at option A, which still allows cell phones to be used on school buses.
Right.
We want to make that clear. So it's, again, just from the kids, the time the kids are in school, the school building. And on field trips too, so they would not be
Yeah, I
allowed.
think field trips are important.
So are you looking for a motion to table this, or are you looking for a decision today? Because you had asked for people to come in maybe and talk about it next month, or share their opinions.
So right now, it's just listed as a discussion on the agenda, so no motion is needed. If the board wants to move forward with the policy, we would probably need to have a motion down the road on which option. So whether you want to do that through the full policy and practice committee, or the board wants to look at that one just separately. Give me direction, I'll draft it up and send it out to you as a board to review prior, and then vote either at March, or if you want to wait till even April, you could wait till April to approve it.
So if we would not implement it until September, or when the new school year starts anyway, I do like Amy's suggestion of inviting parental or even student feedback at next meeting, and then we can do a vote in April, which still gives us time to give them plenty of notice that, hey, when you come back next fall, this is what it's gonna be. I do think that we're gonna get pushback on both sides, and I personally would like to make a decision based on, you know, what they may bring to the table.
I mean, should it go through the policy committee and then just, and make the recommendation to adopt option A, then come to the board? Or does that?
That's how all the other policies go, so
Mhm.
I think it's nice to have the full board's opinion and the discussion, the
Exactly.
data, that if we could get any more input, we can have a policy meeting, between April and, or between the March and April meeting, and then bring it to the board for approval in April.
Absolutely,
That's
even
how I-
Katie's input tonight,
Sorry.
if each teacher could just give a little summary, 5 times a
Well,
day,
I kinda did.
I am doing this. That's the data I am like 20 times a day, I'm telling kids to put their phone away. They could just start tracking a little bit of that data, that's what we have. Kids aren't engaged, kids are worried about this, 5 left to go to the bathroom. It's anecdotal, but I mean, it's a data point. And that's what we're saying to the kids, is this is impacting your education.
Well, and it also gives us an idea of the serial offenders, because Miss Weber may say, these people get up every day and have to go to the bathroom in my class. Well, then they have, I don't know who's another teacher next hour, and they gotta go to the bathroom again. I think that would give us some data that would,
I think you leave it up to the policy and practice committee, because these teachers aren't gonna teach if you're gonna keep doing data. So, teachers are here to teach, not do data and keep doing data. I understand the data, what it's gonna do, but I think you have your data, I don't know what more data you really need, so.
And if
I
anyone
would
feels
agree.
strongly about it, they can communicate to the policy committee or through Jesse, and,
I think it's pretty much cut and dried here of which direction for the reasoning behind it and the learning for the kids, so that's my 2 cents on it.
I think anything you wanna add?
I would agree.
Okay.
I think that should be through the policy committee.
Okay. You have spoken. Thank you. Okay. Any future agenda items, get them to either myself or Mr. Brinkman? And reviewing the dates for future meetings. We have a strategic planning session this Thursday, February 26th, from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Algoma Elementary School Library. We have a charter school committee Tuesday, March 3rd, at 5 p.m. at the high school boardroom in this room. We have a strategic planning work session with the board Monday, March 9th, from 5 to 6:30 at Algoma High School's boardroom. And then we have the March regular board meeting Monday, March 23rd, at 6 p.m. in the school boardroom. All right, any other questions? If not, I'd entertain a motion to go into executive session under Wisconsin statute 19.85 subsection 1C for the purpose of considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Chrissy, seconded by Lonnie. Roll call, Chrissy?
Yes.
Shannon?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Lonnie?
Yes.
Jeremy?
Yes.
Amy? Yes. Unanimous. We are going into closed session.